Hey lovies, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 tips to grow your natural hair long. Yes, yep, you heard that right. 10 tips to grow your natural hair long, okay? So I'm not going to hold you up. We're going to jump right straight into these tips. And I promise you, if you follow these tips, you will definitely see results, okay? So tip number one is pre-poo your hair. Girl, if you're not pre-pooing your hair before your wash day, you want to go ahead and adopt pre-pooing your hair, okay? This has been really working for me. It has really been helping me to cut my time in half when it comes to washing my hair, detangling my hair, taking my braids down. Pre-pooing has really been helping me. So try to go ahead and pre-poo your hair before you wash your hair. What I do is I go in, I put my hair in sections. You know, us natural girls, we gotta put our hair in sections when we're gonna wash our hair. So I put my hair in about 4 sections. I get my either flaxseed gel or I get my African Pride pre-poo, which I have a video on my channel. You can check that out so you can see how I pre-poo my hair. But I just gently go in, I apply it all over, separate my hair, pull out any shedded hair. I use my fingers to do this. Your fingers are your best friend, okay? Go in, separate, pull out your shed hair, use your detangler or your Y2 comb to get the remaining hair out. And then you also be able to feel where you have like fairy knots, because us natural girls, we tend to get like little fairy knots on the ends of our hair. You can feel that and then you go in and you can snip it off. That's gonna really help you, okay? So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to step away from the harsh shampoos, okay? When you go out and you buy your shampoos, try to lean more towards the sulfate-free shampoos to wash your hair, because the shampoos that have sulfate in it can be very drying to your hair and it can strip your hair of its natural oils, okay? And if you're someone who suffers with dry hair already, that's not gonna be good for you. Because we know the famous saying, dry hair breaks. So anything else that you're gonna be putting in your hair on top of your hair that's already dry can wreak havoc on your hair, okay? So what you can do is you can go ahead and you can make your own shampoos at home, or you can opt out from using sulfate shampoos to using the sulfate-free and doing co-washes, okay? So that can really actually help you too. What I've been doing is I've been using my African black soap, and African black soap can be a little drying for the hair too. So I'll either put it in an applicator bottle, I'll add apple cider vinegar to it if I'm going to be doing my clarifying with cleansing my scalp. And I can add a little bit of oil to it, a little bit of jojoba oil, some kind of light oil you can add to your shampoos, and you can use that on your hair too, okay? And if you need to use the sulfate shampoos, try to use it sparingly and use it when you need to clarify your hair, okay? So that's tip number two. Tip number three is to wash your bonnets and your scarves. Girl, a lot of us sometimes will be doing our laundry, but we'll forget to throw in our scarf and throw in our bonnet. If you're washing your hair and you're washing your scalp and you're making sure all of that is good and clean, but then you're taking this dirty bonnet and this dirty scarf and you're putting it on top of your clean hair, that can really clog your follicles and it can cause you to have irritated scalp, okay? Because a lot of the scarves and the bonnets, when they get super dirty, they harbor bacteria, okay? So you don't want to be putting bacteria on a clean scalp or dirty oil and products that you had in your hair weeks ago back on top of your clean hair, okay? So just make sure you're washing your scarves and you're washing your bonnets. Tip number four is prioritize scalp health, okay? So that goes into tip number, I think, 1 and 3, okay? Prioritize your scalp health. Step away from really caring for your strands and care for your scalp. This is where our hair grows from, okay? This is where our follicles are. This is where our, hair really thrives. So make sure you're cleaning your scalp on a regular basis, okay? Have a routine on when you do your wash days and go in, exfoliate your scalp, clean your scalp. Make sure it's free of dirt, of dandruff, of product buildup, of sweat, and anything else that could potentially be on your hair. Because when your scalp is not clean, your hair is not going to grow the way it could. You could potentially stunt your hair growth, and that's not what we want. That's why I'm giving you these tips, because we're trying to grow our hair long, our natural hair, okay? So try not to forget your scalp and prioritize your scalp health. Okay, tip number, I think 5. Listen, if the tips is all over the place, you write them down, you keep track, okay? But I think this is tip number 5. So tip number 5 is to layer your product strategically, all right? Now for me, I'm a high porosity girl. So when I do my moisturizing and sealing, I use the LCO method, and I'll have that on the screen for you so you'll know what that is. But that's just basically liquid, cream, and oil. And that's the order that I use to moisturize and still my hair. And I'm telling you, when I moisturize and still my hair that way, my hair stays moisturized for a good 5 to 7 days. Okay, so if you're a high porosity girl, you can go ahead and you can try to adopt that way of moisturizing, stilling your hair. If you're a low porosity girl, then you can use the LOC method. And that's the method that I use on my two daughters' hair because both of them have low porosity hair. And their hair stay moisturized for a good 5 to 7 days as well. Okay, so just go in and just play around with that and see what works best for you. If you need to do your porosity test and you don't know what your porosity is, I'll have that linked in the card up above, and you can go ahead and you can check that out, okay? Tip number 6 is to get your blood work done. Yes, get your blood work done, okay? It's a new year, we're in 2025. If you haven't had your annual physical yet, you wanna go ahead and get your annual physical done, and while you're at it, ask your PCP, which is your primary care physician, to draw your blood work, okay? Because a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. 70 to 80% of African American women are vitamin D deficient. And vitamin D plays a major role in our hair growth. It plays a major role in our hair health. Did you know that the vitamin D that we have in our body naturally actually pushes you from the telogen stage, which is the resting stage of our hair growth cycle, into the anagen stage, which is our hair growth cycle, right? So if we're in the resting stage and we need vitamin D to push us into the growth stage, but we're lacking that in our body because we're vitamin D deficient, then it lets you tend to stay in the telogen stage for longer than you're supposed to, okay? The longer you stay in that telogen stage, your hair begins to shed a lot, your hair begins to thin out. So it plays a major role, this vitamin D in our body. So you want to make sure you have the adequate amount of vitamin D in your body. And if you don't, your doctor will let you know to start taking vitamin D supplements. You also want to check your iron levels because if you are deficient in iron, you can be anemic. That plays a role on hair health as well. Okay, so go ahead and check that out because I am vitamin D deficient. I currently take vitamin D supplements. And I didn't know I was vitamin D deficient until I started experiencing this and this. And when you're lacking vitamin D, you can also develop an autoimmune disease or autoimmune condition, okay? And then you'll begin to start getting alopecia. What I have is alopecia areata. And that's where you're lacking vitamin D and you begin to lose your hair in patches, okay? So that's how I knew I was vitamin D deficient. But now I'm on supplements and I don't experience that no more, okay? So just go ahead and get your blood work done. Tip number 7 is to stop talking negative about your hair, okay? Words are very powerful, okay? Either you're speaking life or you're speaking death over your hair. So you want to make sure you're not saying things like, I'm having a bad hair day, or my hair is getting on my nerves, or I'm so sick and tired of me, I'm about to cut it all off. You don't want to speak those type of words or put those words out into the universe, into the atmosphere, okay? Start speaking positive about your hair. My hair is beautiful. My hair is growing so nicely. I love my hair. The same way you can speak negative things to people, or sometimes people speak negative things to their children, oh, you're never gonna amount to nothing, you're no good, like you're no good daddy, or those type of things. And then when the kid grows up, they begin to show those traits, or they begin to manifest the things that you spoke. So if you're saying negative things about your hair, what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna begin to manifest those negative things when it comes to your hair. So just speak positive, speak life, don't speak death, speak blessings, and don't speak curses, okay? That's tip number 7. Tip number 8 is to play music when you're doing your hair. For me, y'all, this has been working amazingly, okay? Whenever I'm washing my hair, if I'm taking down my braids, if I'm detangling my hair, if I'm doing anything to my hair, I play some nice calming music. When you play some nice calming music while you're doing your hair, it puts you more in a relaxed state of mind, okay? So I take my phone sometimes. I love to listen to gospel music. So I take my phone, I place it on my sink or I place it on my toilet. And while I'm in the shower washing my hair, I'm just vibing out to my music. If you like gospel music, go ahead and give that a try. But if you like classical music or jazz or whatever, put that on, it will really put you in a calm state of mind, and it will have the time go by faster. You won't be so focused on, oh, my wash day just took 3 hours, or my wash day just took 4 hours, or let me hurry up and get through this and start breaking through your head, because you'll be vibing out to the music that you're listening to, okay? So just play some music whenever you're dealing with your hair, okay? Tip number nine is try not to keep your head covered when you're home. So if you work from home, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're always home, try to take your scarf off or your bonnet off. Don't leave your scarf or your bonnet on all day long, okay? Because that traps in moisture in your hair, and it causes your hair to be damp. And if you have an overly moisturized environment, your hair will begin to sweat. It will start to, smell. You want to make sure you're allowing your scalp to breathe, and you want to make sure you're allowing your hair to actually, by your hair being overly moisturized, it can weaken your roots to your hair, okay? And it can also cause bacteria and all of that too. So just make sure you're not wearing your bonnet and your scarf all day. You put it on at night, okay? So if you're in the house, just let your hair get some air. Okay, tip number 10 is to pray over your hair, okay? Now, the Bible, if you're a believer of Christ Jesus, the Bible says to pray without ceasing, right? So you should be praying anyway. You should be praying over everything. I pray over my husband. I pray over my marriage. I pray over my health, my finances, my children. I pray over my family. I pray for everything and everybody, okay? So that doesn't exclude my hair. Whenever I pray that God keep my hair healthy, keep my hair growing and thriving, keep my body healthy, because it's mostly important. That's most important, your physical health. If you're not healthy, your hair can't be healthy, okay? So you want to make sure you're praying over your hair. People speak negative things over your hair, whether you want to know it or not. Negative energy is a real thing. The transfer of energy is a real thing. So you may have people, and they may think your hair is beautiful, idolize your hair because your hair is not like their hair, and then they begin to, wish bad things on your hair. So, but if you're praying, over your hair, or you're praying over your life in general and stuff like that, who God bless, no man can curse, okay? So those are my 10 tips. I hope they help you. I hope you follow them, because I promise you, if you follow them, you will begin to see results, okay? You will begin to see results. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, I would suggest you go ahead and check out this video, because this video is a good one too, okay? Subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.